Rebonjour. Nous allons continuer The Forgotten City. On avait fait une session. Jeu à blabla. Voilà, il y a plein de textes. Faut réussir à trouver un méchant a priori. Ah, il n'y a pas les gens là. Faut que j'aille au sanctuaire. On va pas tergiverser, on va aller voir les gens. C'est qui lui? Salut toi. C'est Rufus. L'accent.
I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the legions. The 6th. The one they called Ironclads. Same way as everyone else. Because we're all in grave danger. Is it not obvious? Magistrate made me toss it in the chasm. Stupid.
Lui, il vote Maléus.
If you were dealing with what I am, you wouldn't be either. None of your business. In Troiti ipsum commensura. If we have to. If I did, do you think we'd be having this conversation?
Pas très sympa lui, hein.
I'll tell you this much. I hate the fact that my survival depends on the common sense of other people. I mean, all these people just bumble along like nothing's wrong. While we're one bad decision away from being wiped out. Like the last lot of people who lived here. Seems like I'm the only one ready for what's coming. Whatever that is. And when it hits, it's everyone for themselves.
D'accord.
You've been warned. I don't know. But did you ever get the feeling some of these statues are watching us when we're not looking?
Il a l'air bien au courant, lui.
Like they're waiting for something. I don't like it. Of course I am. Meliodas. Not sure I trust Sentius. Couldn't even protect his daughter in a city without... How's he going to protect us? No.
Pas l'aider lui.
Whatever.
Lucretia.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culus cumbulatus Decius won't give it to me. It's too late. She just slipped away.
Soir. Que s'est-il passé?
She was poisoned.
Pourquoi je suis chaud?
Here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of Silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that fool shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly. Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it. I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just
Et tu penses pas que venir sur un chat pour le dire, c'est pas ne rien savoir faire de sa vie? En tout cas, t'as du vocabulaire, bravo.
Why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that.
Donc c'était même pas si jeune que ça, t'es fou quand même.
Could be in the next day or in the next hour, and I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
Alors, remonter ce monde, peut-être fais-tu partie des gens, malheureusement, qui contribuent à ce que ça soit pas ouf. Mais sinon, je t'invite à aller ailleurs. Bonne soirée.
Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on a? Des épices.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Donc, si j'étais venu plus vite, peut-être que elle, j'aurais pu la sauver en fait. Miche de pain. Donc, eux, si je leur vole des trucs, c'est la merde, mais potentiellement, si j'arrive à lui voler le bon truc, alors peut-être.
Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff, I bet it's worth. Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia, but we just have to carry on, don't we? Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years? Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands. She claimed the statue was whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this Sylphium or not?
Entrer dans le palais.
Very well. Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget? You mean, how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale.
J'ai mis ça d'ailleurs, pardon. Hop.
All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave. Fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done. The girl? Weren't you listening? All my valuables or the girl? I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber. Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin. Thank you, friend. It turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you, there must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here. I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking. Oh yeah, gotta watch out. Old Dacius has got your back though. It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one...
C'est dur de comprendre qui fait quoi là.
Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet. Thank you, friend.
Lui c'est une merde.
I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us? Not going to happen. Very well. Another time.
Ok. Lui potentiellement on peut lui voler le truc et l'avoir pour la prochaine. Il a un coffre mais je peux pas l'ouvrir. Ok. Je peux pas sauter ici.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today? I'm sad. Am I going to die in here? I don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kinder than Sentius and let you out. My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up. I don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure.
Maybe.
Yes, but I wasn't. I was just looking. They said I did it more than once, but I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy. Yes. They said I have to live here now, and gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you? You think you could read it for me?
Le magistrat explique que Dully a été emprisonné pour l'empêcher de s'introduire dans tes propriétés privées. Votre gardien.
What does it say? My treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said
Mourir.
he died. It was very sad. He said if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I
okay.
treasure. But I couldn't find it. All I remember is he said something about the cisterns. But when I went up to the high one, they put me in here.
Un trésor dans les citernes.
Except my friend Galerius.
Donc c'est.
And priestess lady. She's a nice lady. Hannibal said I shouldn't give it to anyone I didn't trust. But maybe you could help me get it. Galerius already tried that. He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what. What about the rules? I don't want everyone to get in trouble because I was bad. Like Galerius, he's nice. I like.
Ah, on peut choisir qui on va enterrer.
Made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure.
Est-ce qu'à chaque run on peut faire des trucs différents pour avoir un peu tous les trucs?
I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high and very precious.
C'est sûr, on va la quête prioritaire, seul c'est marqué. Ouais.
You're going to let me out of here? Really? Oh. Please. I hate it here. It makes me very sad. Go? You mean treasure? My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said,
Ouais, c'est triste.
if anything ever happened,
Ouais.
he gave me this key and made me promise to
Ouais.
remember his
C'est super, d'accord.
Now nobody looks after me. Except my
Très bien, très bien. Oh, je m'en vais.
bye bye.
Michel, il est où là? Il est déjà parti, mais c'est des machines. Hein. Je sais pas où il est. Il y a quelqu'un? Oui. Non, c'est du gold. C'est quoi ma mission là? Ah, bah c'est ce dont j'ai besoin. Hop là. Ah, faut déjà que je me barre.
Many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oupsie. Ah mais je vais mourir. Moi je pourrais sauver la dame. Mais je sais pas dans quel délai il faut que je le fasse en fait. J'ai bien fait de prendre le truc où on meurt moins vite quand même. Ah, parce que sinon ça se peut je serais déjà mort là. Du coup, si je la sauve une fois, qu'est-ce que ça va faire? Est-ce qu'il faudra que je le fasse plusieurs fois?
Salve, friend. Mind telling me... Oh. Of course. What? I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. I don't like Sentius much, but Malleolus is almost as bad. Even I could do a better job. Me, a farmer. And I've never given a speech or put on a toga in my life. I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows
J'aimerais bien que tu le libères, lui.
But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's going to take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom, so I'm hoping if he's elected, he'll release Dooley from his cell.
Comment on peut le convaincre?
Because Sentius put him there. Poor Dooley was just wandering around looking for some imaginary treasure. Now a magistrate accused him of being a thief. It's nonsense, of course. Dooley's the most harmless man you'll ever meet. But Sentius really has it in for him, for some reason. Gladly. All right. See you around.
Pas comment le faire en sorte qu'il puisse voter, lui. Ça, je sais plus s'il y avait des gens là-dedans. Je vais essayer de retourner voir direct et de lui donner le truc, mais je sais pas ce que ça va faire. Je vais aller là-dedans. Ça compte pas comme du vol? Pour une raison obscure. Ok, il est à nouveau là, donc là je pourrais tenter de sauver je ne sais qui.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culus cubulatus Decius won't give it to me. What? Quick, give it here. Yulia.
Ok.
Yulia.
Donc ouais, il faut faire tous les différents chemins.
Here, let me help you. Hopefully, in a moment, she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing? And at this exact moment? Are you some kind
Le
of
talent.
miracle?
Indice résolu. On va mentir.
But how could you know she needed this exact medicine? And how did you even get it? I guess it doesn't matter. You just saved a person's life.
CV.
And you
Ah, ok,
should
c'était
be proud
un...
of yourself. She might even be able to thank you herself in a few moments. And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her and who she meant when she was
Ok, ça va donner des infos.
cruel black eyes. In the meantime, I'm happy to help you with whatever it is you need. I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. This is
Attends, Naivia, c'est laquelle? Il y a trop de prénoms, je me souviens plus.
Ever since she disappeared, I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time. But I'd rather take this on myself than let one of you lot mess it up. My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced the Roman way more than I would have liked and turned into an awful philanderer. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine and disappear. And then the fires came. As he prepared to evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones, and the moment his back was turned, I ran. I could barely see for the smoke, and the streets were full of people trampling each other. I ran for the river, like everyone else, and leapt in. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a riverbank, not far from here. It's all right. Say what you will about this place. At least my fornicating husband will never find me. And while there's no shortage of snakes here, at least with the golden rule, they have to try to be discreet about it. Oh, this shrine was in use as a clinic long before any of us arrived here. Kind of strange to set up a clinic in the temple of the god of disease. But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So I
Apollon, dieu des maladies?
to Apollo for healing, kind
À Rome, peut-être, du coup.
Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good too, until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden statues. This changes everything, she kept saying, but I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem.
Quel problème?
Situation. one of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed and he's in constant pain. I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't like it.
C'est Malleolus.
A little bit scary. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off, and I worry he'll end up losing his temper and lashing out. And you know what that means. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. But nobody seems to know how to get into the palace. Thanks, I suppose. I wish some people here need medical care, not the half-baked, hanging by a thread excuse for treatment I'm giving them. Just don't get sick or injured here. I'll do my best to treat you, but I'm out of my depth and dangerously short on everything you can imagine. A city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up didn't think it through. Maybe it was an attempt to create some kind of utopia. But snakes like Decius will always find loopholes to exploit. And what can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because we can't take the law into our own hands. Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to worry you, but no, that is definitely not normal. There was one other person who claimed she could hear the statues talking to her. But that was Nevia, and she went a little mad. Well, she used to run the clinic. Until she suddenly lost time, and then she shut herself in the palace. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to... But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the one of my patients. He's become so irritable. I just know Nevia. Thanks, I suppose. Sure. What do you want to know? Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule, and so maybe it's best we don't discuss.
Logique, je n'avais même pas pensé à ça.
Gladly. That's a shame. Thanks again for saving Yulia's life.
Il faut que je reste là jusqu'à ce qu'elle se lève là. Ah bah c'est bon, elle est là. Coucou.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. But thanks for trying to help me, I suppose. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest. As much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, it's just not safe for me to talk about it. The golden rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may be cruel.
Je sais pas qui est Claudia, mais...
Iolus and Claudia are far crueler. Please, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. Persistent as Nemesis, aren't you?
Ah, du coup, parfois, ça vaut le coup d'être insistant, quoi.
It's a long saga. All right. I'd been here about a week. When it dawned on me I'd be trapped here for the reason my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out.
1000 deniers pour une issue.
And that she was supposed to be my friend.
C'est beaucoup trop, ok. Malleolus qui fait des emprunts.
I had to sign an agreement.
30 ans.
I'd work off the debt over 30 years. I paid Aurelia. And she gave me
Aurelia, c'est le mytho. De la ciguë. C'est quoi? Ah bah c'est un poison mortel, ok.
Made from a plant.
Ok.
Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. And saying, let the buyer beware. Then she just looked at me with
Ok, c'est une crevarde elle aussi.
eyes and she laughed. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only he didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing from the beginning. That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing.
T'as rien, Sentius, là.
I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't submit, I'd...
Ok, donc il y en a qui font pression. Bon, franchement, si je suis dans la merde comme ça... Ah non, c'est nul quand même de tuer tout le monde.
So he locked me in his villa. Confiscated everything I owned as collateral. And his wife Claudia was just as bad.
Ok, Claudia, c'est la femme de Malleolus.
Scrubbing the floor clean for hours. Only for
Yes, une connasse.
those two took everything from me. My hemlock. I just wanted it to be over. But it seems I messed that up too. I brought it on myself. I trusted one of the most callous human beings I've ever met. When I've recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for me.
Ok.
He'll only this time. I won't be able to.
Ouais, ok, donc je l'ai mis dans la merde, quoi.
It would have been better if... I doubt it. It seems this is the fate the gods have chosen for me. At least until someone breaks the golden rule. A lot. But it doesn't matter.
Et le suicide, ça fait pas partie des trucs qui enfreignent la règle d'or? Et le
He's
plus?
in exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus and Aureli. He's probably already thrown himself from the bluff into Malleolus. If so, I'd never be able to... I doubt you could make it up to the bluff in time. I don't know who you are, or why you seem so determined to help. All right. You mean my life story? Oh.
Ok, bon, je vais passer les textes, il y en a trop. Hein.
Our father found good husbands for my sisters, but I wasn't.
Ok, elle a fait scribe plutôt.
For a while, until we must have had 100 workers passing, but they fell on deaf ears. The fire was relentless. My employer told me to grab what valuables I could, and I remember diving into the river, and then.
Ok.
The next.
Dire avec Kika que des gens ont mentionné un trou de mémoire.
On the riverbank, not far
Qui
from
est Kika, je me souviens.
Thank you, but to be honest, if that's your idea of a joke.
Oui, bon, c'était con.
I know what kind of person you are.
Ah merde, je suis con. Du coup, j'ai pas pu lui poser. Ça, c'est Lucretia. Refuse. Ouais, il y a des gens qu'il faut que je trouve encore. Virgile, c'est qui lui?
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to our little community. My name's I hear we have you to thank for saving Julia's life. Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back and help out with repairs and try to stop.
Ok.
Probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architect.
On s'en fout. Probablement.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines, but there's one thing that puzzles me.
Les plus anciens sanctuaires grecs.
I'm not sure. It could mean that the Romans who
Pas de
first
copier.
mean that there were Greeks living
Où sont-ils?
built this place. If only there was a way we could talk to the people.
Ok, donc faut trouver un moyen de discuter avec les statues aussi.
Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueduct. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering. With a very practical pump,
Ouais.
it's funneled below the palace, and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern
Et
beneath
des...
the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake, and allows us to... Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the god. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find... You mean the great temple? Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us. Unfortunately, someone else went, you see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god. Like, there's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian, and of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the temple of Saturn, and so we're all left wondering, which god is, unless somebody figures out a way in...
Ok.
Of course. Well,
Non, 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 non.
I like... You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. There are much worse places to live out your days, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single... Oh, I just mean I grew up in... Far to the north in Novio Marcus.
Ok. Aussi tolérant que les Romains. Il y a tellement de textes.
The work of a god, but I'm not so sure. I mean,
L'assemble humain, la règle d'or.
you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you, which means
C'est vrai.
two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown, and I'm pretty sure. Good. Then I hope you'll agree that the first is to leave. The second is to...
Ok, il y a quelqu'un qui a le pouvoir, quoi.
Good question. It's best if I say no more, but... Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomar, I saw enough friends killed or driven away. So I hid who I was for. What was it? But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living, needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of... Nice of you to... In any case, the Romans are far more accept... Or at least it's not just graffiti. The strange thing is, I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. If I had to guess, I'd say it's...
Quelle secte?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly...
Les chrétiens, hein.
If these threats keep escalating, eventually... What? Really? I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out...
Les marchands du coin.
Someone who lives or works in the forum must happen. If you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. Come back and let me know what you find.
Comme j'ai des quêtes dans tous les sens.
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff.
Tu es disponible.
It has to be important.
Sont disponibles? Bon, allez,
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Daces, I'm not making you a bow.
Greetings and
ah, mais il y a trop de monde. Bon, c'est le dernier que j'interroge, j'arrête après.
I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing, leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stick. I have traveled distant trade routes from the map, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Is this a riddle, or perhaps you mean to say you feel like you are ahead of your time? I
Ouais.
have much time here to get to know one another.
Ouais. Quelle est votre histoire?
Story? How kind of you to ask. You mean to say with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers.
Ouais, pourquoi il est shop?
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we...
Ok.
Oh, and there is another. If we all end up as golden statues for generations to marvel at.
Ouais, je comprends.
A good question. A very good question in...
Je m'en souviens pas.
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of them. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even... This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before create. When I recovered my faculties, I was lying naked by the... Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying... In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am. Anything you like. Shh. Not so... Have you not been told about the last attempt? Oh, then I suppose this dude... Of course, the first question any of us asks when we and scaling the chasm wall is out of the question. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to...
Ouais.
The shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood... I admire your enthusiasm, There was an attempt. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to... They heard a godlike voice shake the entire city. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place. Ah, yes. The man is Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful...
Ouais, ça je connais.
When he abducted... When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not panic. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth, so that it became hotter. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case.
Ok.
If we are to survive, I say we must each keep the simple wisdom, avoid doing what you would... It does, for even if 99% of us are... Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, their lives work.
Ouais.
Ah, the button... A lighter. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues... That, my friend, is quite the dilemma.
Ah mais lui aussi.
I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domitius. Nothing comes to my mind. This is troubling, is it not? I'm afraid, but my young friend Fabia confided in me that she saw someone leaving graffiti on his shop front last night. Perhaps you should ask.
Fabia.
I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Ouais. Et là j'ai plus de... C'est qui Fabia? Je peux bien aller la voir mais je sais pas où elle est, je sais pas qui c'est. Petite latrine là. Ok. Rufus. C'est qui son ami là? Où es-tu? Bah, c'est haut. Elle veut plus me parler, hein, c'est noir. Ça va, je me suis trompé. Porte verrouillée. J'ai pas fait gaffe. Bon, je pense qu'ici j'ai vu tout le monde, hein. On va essayer d'aller vers le palais. Il y a quoi là-bas? Ah.
You have to do something.
Ok, t'es qui?
A man arrived in the baths. Real nasty sort. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
Non, je n'ai pas d'arme.
None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm.
Ah, on peut trouver l'arc là.
Bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise. Are you daft or just callous? Thank you.
Ok, il y a un mec à affronter qui va me trouver.
Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. Hear what? What? You don't have time for this.
Alors attends, elle va se cacher là.
The shrine is collapsing.
Ah. Elle a dead ça elle. Donc il fallait peut-être y aller avant pour éviter qu'elle crève elle. Et il y a un mec à affronter, il va nous rouler dessus, c'est ça? Ah c'était Fabien elle? Donc il faudrait que... On sait qui est Fabien. Ok, si je vais là-bas, je vais affronter Jean Connard, Canarder. J'ai absolument rien pour l'affronter.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire.
Ouais.
So, if you tell me the truth,
Parler de l'assassin.
you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business,
Non mais j'ai pas l'arme du coup.
I will put this out.
Comme j'ai pas le pistolet, je peux pas le buter.
Is that understood?
Ouais ouais.
You are not off to a good start. When I ask you a question, I expect an answer. Is that understood? Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place? A small community. Ha! I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult. Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave. Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe? A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues? You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me. Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do. Our God told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself.
Hold it.
Very well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are
c'est un chrétien.
All I know, all I care about, is that the Emperor, this is your last chance. Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
Voilà.
Aha, I knew it. Now it's my turn to tell you something. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
On va sauter. Pas sûr qui tire exactement, mais... Ok, bah... Lui, j'ai aucune idée de comment on va pouvoir le... J'ai réussi à m'en prendre une, là? C'est-à-dire que je peux prendre 4. Il a déjà fait le truc. On va s'arrêter sur ça, j'ai pas appris grand-chose, hein. En 1 heure, là, quasiment. Bon, on va essayer. Pour l'instant, je suis pas fan, hein. C'est lent de chez lent, quand même, hein. Mais c'est rigolo, mais c'est lent. Allez, on s'arrête. Mesdames, hop, bonne soirée et à bientôt.